friend of mine called Njoroge Kingangi.
Alisema hiyo joto ilikuwa mingi sana. Ilimshoma. Alikuwa anashomeka.
He was marveling at the orderliness of the town.
What do you mean? What orderliness?
It's clean. The streets are well, you know.
What did he expect to see though?
That, my friend, is the heart of the matter. What was he thinking he was going to see?
Kwani watu wanafikiria when you go to Kisumu you'll find papers in the streets,
or people are demonstrating daily,
and then there's that people pelting each other with stones.
No. I think he has been to Kisumu on many occasions,
right?
But I think when you're driving through Kisumu in the daytime, you see a difference. Kisumu, then you drive on the outskirts. The thing that you find amazing is just how people have not encroached on the road reserve.
Right.
The wide spaces.
Yeah.
The places within town. The places for bicycles or motorbikes, for people to walk. And you say, my goodness.
Yeah.
You mean there's so much space?
Yeah.
I say, yeah, the town has order.
And then, you know, it has obviously, it has morphed over the years because of devolution. So that means when now governors had their own kitties to do their own stuff, everyone has actually remodeled their counties in an image they prefer.
Yes, but then there's the fault line. That is if you are within the leafy suburbs of Kisumu and within the town.
Milimani
is next to Nyalenda.
Yeah.
Immediately you get into Nyalenda, it's an eyesore.
Okay.
Rubbish heap on the road. Here you see alive and kicking chaos. You realize that order was there.
Yes.
Somehow they've not extended it to this particular place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the ISO.
One thing I will point out about Kisumu when I was there, and I hope it has changed, is that several boda riders that I did I hire them, or what did I do?
Whose services you procured?
Exactly. So several boda persons that I used, bro, they need proper dental care. Because the number of times I had to cover my nose like this, many times.
Mtu yani anakula anachumira whatever it is that
of
they
course,
do.
Maybe jana usiku alikuwa amemeza his favorite poison.
Yes.
So it was for me that was something that I noticed, and I thought maybe it would be like one person, two persons, or three, but it got to a point where I felt like it was a pandemic now.
There are cultural nuances that there seems to be nuances.
Yeah.
There are cultural realities that one finds within a place. Now what you're referring to is a subculture. The subculture of those who are border riders. Now what is of interest is you'll find that they have similar habits. The similarity of habits is what brings about what you're talking about. Yes, they do the same things, and they more or less find that their culture dictates that they should do that.
Yeah.
So yes, they will exhibit certain common traits.
Yeah, their dental hygiene at the time, I don't know if the night has changed. Of course, people, not the same people work in the same industry.
Kwani, what were you doing, kissing them?
Not really. Yes. But you know, when you...
The guy is ahead of you, Kwani.
When you get on a board,
then he turns and talks to you.
So you're cruising, You're cruising along Raila Odinga,
It's Jaramogi.
Yes, Odinga Highway, that road, avenue. Is it whatever? The point is you're there. Then this guy decides to just converse with you for whatever reason. Raila. So first of all, they tell you something in Luo, thinking that you're also Luo, and then you're like, sikuelewi bro. Then they switch now to whatever language, Kiswahili or Kizungu,
and there isn't much difference in.
Lakini sasa, and then not all of them at the time, because we're talking about 2014 here. Not all of them had helmets, bro. Ule mse anakuongelesha akiangalia hivi nyuma, so unataka Raila, unatandikwa na ile uvundo. Yeah, so that is something I noticed about the area.
Uko naishi wapi Kisumu?
That Alfred place is called Milimani, eh?
Yes,
that's the place. I usually confuse Milimani and Kilimani, but yes,
Milimani hapa Nairobi.
So Milimani. I used to live close to this temple. It's a Hindu temple.
There are several Hindu temples, but I know the place you're talking about. Unaingia Milimani, then kuna Hindu temple. Ziko karibu tatu, but I know the Hindu temple.
There's a very prominent primary school somewhere around. It's a government one, public school. Yeah, so that's where I used to live. Good place. Good place. I loved Kisumu.
The school that you're talking to is called Zaverian.
Zaverian. Thank you. That's the place. Awesome place. All right. Before we talk about what is significant about this day, this is 19th January 2026. Of course, we're talking about it in history. A big shout out to my favorite team. Senegal won the AFCON.
Senegal.
But it was, for me, I felt like in the first half. Did you get to watch the game by the way? No. So I feel like in the first half, because I watched it, I watched the first half, and then after that nikaanza kusinzia, nilikuwa nafanya hivi kwa kiti. I just decided, you know what, let me not struggle. But the first half, when I watched it, I feel like both teams lost a lot of opportunities to score. Both teams, Senegal and Morocco, they lost many opportunities. I counted.
How did they lose those opportunities?
So, for example, they would kick the ball off target. They would kick it on target, but either it doesn't have, enough energy.
Or they kick straight to the goalkeeper.
Straight to the goalkeeper or straight to their opponent. So unashanga, bro, is it that hauoni vizuri ama niaje? Several corners that also I believe would have been converted to goals, they really lost.
Did you ever play any sport at a competitive level, even at school?
Yes.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
There's a certain anxiety.
Unakuanga nayo.
Enormous. This is even more enormous than a World Cup. You know why? It's a continental cup. And your country, men and women, boys and girls, are watching it to the hilt.
And then the Nini Stadium,
jam-packed.
Ilikuwa imejaa.
Yes, relatives, friends. Yes.
Hey.
Now, if you happen to be a footballer who plies his trade, say in Europe, for instance, my friend, coming home in itself is pressure.
Yeah.
The way you play in Europe and the way, couldn't job. Hapa.
Yeah.
Glory, the country, relas,
teammates.
The whole Nino is hanging on you guys. You will miss goals even when it's staring at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But one thing I'll give it up to them, that game, at least for the first time, for the first half I watched, it was exciting. It wasn't boring. There's a boring game whereby you see like guys, si mfanye kitu. These guys were on their toes. Mpira inatoka hapa imekuja imeondoka imerudishwa pale. So even on the screen you're just like So I enjoyed that first half.
What the final tally of goals?
It was just 1-0.
Oh,
1-0. And that's
goal, what they call a cliffhanger.
And it was scored in the 94th minute.
That's what you call a cliffhanger.
I was, because when I woke up, that's when I checked the results. I was like, these guys were just this close to going to extra time and perhaps even into penalty shootouts. And that, my friend, hapo ndio sasa vitu zinaweza enda either way.
Inawaga roho.
Inaweza enda either way. Hii sasa it doesn't really matter who's good at what, at kicking the ball. This one is pure luck. Because even the best of strikers, best of scorers, when it comes to penalty shootouts, it's either ushikiwe ball ama uitandike iende sayuni. And that's how you lose a game. So, big shout out to Senegal, African champions. Lions of Teranga it is. One thing, Aisho Speed was in the stadium where the final was being played. He was streaming it live. I don't know whether he got a copyright strike because people have exclusive rights to airing these games. That guy was just streaming that entire thing live. Of course, switching on and off the pitch to himself, onto the pitch, himself onto the pitch. He seemed to enjoy the game. But I think...
Which means the game got infinitely more viewership than it would ordinarily.
Oh, yes. However, even on his YouTube channel, he lost a significant viewership because now people switched to watch the AFCON game on various channels. So people were watching it on their KBCs, others were watching it on their Super Sports and so on and so forth. Yeah, so he lost because when he got into the stadium, he had over 370,000 views. But by the time the game started, his viewership went down to about 180. By the time I was, because I was also watching him.
180 what?
1,000.
Okay.
Yes, it went down to, so he lost almost half, actually more than half of the viewership when the game officially started. He was in Algeria the day before. I didn't like some of the things that happened to him. Seemed racist, in my opinion. He went to watch a match in Algeria and he was pelted with projectiles. So we're not sure whether it was racist, whether it was religiousist, but yeah, something happened, and I don't think that was a really good show for the people that were in that stadium in Algeria. But anyway, That's what happened over the weekend. Why don't you let us know where you're watching us from? You can find us on YouTube at Radio Generation Kenya. That's our YouTube channel. Utuambie unatusikiza kutoka wapi ama unatutazama kutoka wapi. Watu wa Garissa, it's on 89.5. So if you're heading that direction, if you're not already there listening to us, if you're heading that direction, kindly find us on 89.5. You can find us in Mombasa on 90.7, and of course Nairobi hapa nyumbani, we are on 88.8 FM. On our X account, that is at Radio Gen KE. That's where you can get to interact with us. Also, would be glad to hear from you. Like I said, where are you watching us from? Tuambie ili tuweze kulonga nawe. Au sio? All right. Let's see what's significant about today. In 1966, Indira Gandhi becomes Indian Prime Minister. That is in 1966, Indira Gandhi becomes Indian Prime Minister. Then also in 1999, the first BlackBerry device hits the market. That is about 27 years ago. The first BlackBerry device hits the market. Now, I know there are some people who have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. These are the Gen Zs. Wanashanga, Black what now? BlackBerry was the iPhone of the time.
Yep.
It was one of the slickest, most expensive device you could ever use. Make Google your friend. Why don't you check it out so you can see what that's all about? City, tupatie medali ya leo.
Have you ever been to the country of Mali?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever heard proverbs from the country of Mali?
No, I haven't.
Well,
but I believe the richest man who ever lived came from that area code.
The empire.
The Emperor Mansa Musa.
Yes.
Okay.
He was loaded.
Yeah. History says that wherever he went, he changed the economy of the country or town that he visited, because he would pour so much gold into that area that their GDP, for lack of a better word, would change overnight.
Even when he got to Makkah, he's staying in Makkah there.
Yeah.
Many things changed.
Ilibadilisha mambo huko.
Sana.
Pesa, my friend. He traded in gold.
Yes.
Emperor Mansa Musa.
But the founder was not Mansa Musa. The founder was
of Mali?
Yes.
Okay.
It was called Sundiata.
Keita. Sundiata Keita.
That was the founder of that particular kingdom. Okay. And but this history I'll be telling bits and pieces. Move along.
Yeah.
How a kingdom was built and how magnificent it was, and the geographical area it traversed. Beautiful.
Okay. Tupatie hiyo medali, nasema vipi?
This is what the proverb says. If you have an enemy, admit he can run fast.
If you have an enemy, admit he can run fast.
Yes, be extra careful.
Yeah.
Assuming the worst of the enemy is putting yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
Yes. If he is the enemy, assume qualities that he has that may put you at a disadvantage. Yes.
Assume perhaps if he can even fight better than you.
I assume even he can fly. Yes.
So that you can be better prepared.
Yes, exactly.
In case afanya aburuke. Can I spear into the sky?
Yes.
Can I fly?
Unaona zile movies za kung fu where somebody jumps backwards and he's in the air.
Oh yes.
You know those ones?
Do you know the movie that pioneered that kind of fighting? Hidden Dragon. It was called Flying Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's the movie that pioneered that kind of martial arts.
That was a very nice movie.
Yeah.
But violent. God almighty.
Oh, you think that is violent? You've not watched Spartacus, have you?
You're talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you, sitting.
I have. Where blood splashes onto the screen and you watch.
If there's any violence in a program, Spartacus, well, that's a TV series, but yes, Spartacus is bloody.
Okay. Sawa.
Asante sana kwa hiyo methali ya Mali.
Asante sana.
So assume your enemy can run fast, eh?
It's in your interest.
All right. Check out radiogeneration.co.ke and see what we're reading, because our first story takes us to this story about fake KCSE result slip. 2 in custody over fake KCSE result slip scam. Samuel Otieno.
Wait a moment.
Yeah.
Yani, you're telling me that we've extended this conmanship to now where people are actually providing fake KCSE.
But we've had fake degree certificates.
No. We've
had fake KCSE certificates. So I don't see what
the context. The context is what's making me shanga. Then these issues normally come out when somebody presents certain papers when they're seeking employment, and then it is found that these things are not true. But this is upfront.
Yeah.
That's what is surprising me. When it's that upfront and the media picks it up, it means it is rampant.
Why don't we... Well, I'm sure other countries such as the US, UK, Germany, I'm sure you'll find one or two or even several, I don't know, because I don't have the statistics for these countries. But you always because mtu akona fake certificates, fake results slip and so on and so forth. Basically fake qualification papers, yeah? Even fake doctors and so on. But it is not as rampant as in African countries. And someone did a survey or an analysis a while back, and they said it's because of the premium we have put on qualifications in Africa. The premium we've put on our KCSE qualifications, KCPE qualifications, university degree qualifications, and so on, such that if you do not have those academic qualifications, then you're considered more or less a failure. So people will want to acquire these papers to at least get that part of their life out of the way, to get that part where they would be labeled as failures out of their way. And of course, when it comes also to the job market, unapata people who have got degrees have a higher advantage as far as getting employment is concerned, as opposed to folks who do not have those papers. So it's one of those things perhaps we need to relook as a nation. And I think that is part of the thing that CBC was planning or had come to correct. Unfortunately, it's not really doing a good job at it. But let's just read a paragraph of two rather, of this story written by Samuel Otieno. Police have arrested 2 suspects over their alleged involvement in what they term as false publication and making of fake Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education 2025 result slips. According to a statement released by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations on January 18th, the fake result slips have been circulating on social media platforms. What do you mean? The suspects, Albert Kerry Nyandianga and David Opio, also known as GOAT, that is GOAT G.O.A.T, are accused of luring desperate candidates and parents with promises of upgraded grades at a fee. Yeah. So in a coordinated operation, Nyandianga was arrested in Kisumu, while his accomplice, Opio, was arrested in Ongatarongai, Kajiado County. Initial investigations established that Opio, believed to be the mastermind of the scheme, is a primary school teacher, oh my goodness, by profession. Is he currently practicing? He is said to command a large online following of, listen to this, 45,200 members in a group misleadingly branded KCSE 2025 grade upgrading. Surely. What kind of nonsense is this? People joined a Facebook group called KCSE 2025 grade upgrading.
Yes.
Umejoin group, umedecide kuingia kwa group ambayo imeandikwa KCSE 2025 grade upgrade. So you ulienda ukapata your B or ukapata your C, ukapata your D, ukapata your E perhaps, ukapata F. Unataka kuingia kwa group inaitwa upgrading your grade. You upgrade your grade in a classroom. You upgrade your grade rather in an examination. If you feel like you failed your exam, you redo that exam. That's how you do not upgrade it by joining a Facebook group. City, you're awfully quiet on this issue.
The reason why I'm quiet is because I'm actually pondering on what you've just read.
Yeah.
And it worries me.
It does. It should.
Because we've gone beyond just normalizing wrong. We've come to the point where we are now proliferating it. It's out in the open. There's no pretense.
Yeah. For all intents and purposes, the first gentleman who's a teacher, he's an influencer. Because when you have a group of 45,000 followers, my friend, you are influencing. We have MPs who are MPs in constituencies that have far much less populations than that.
It is worrying.
Yeah.
Because we've not only endorsed and we've not only normalized, we have mainstreamed lying, cheating, dishonesty. So the outcome of that is pertinent. Because if you are cheating on behalf of your children, they will know. you've cheated on their behalf. Now you will have entrenched in that next generation a culture of cheating like we've never seen before, where people will begin their statement and their lives with the possibilities of how they can cheat and how they can get away with their cheating. So the joy and acceleration that one has from having done well and acknowledging that your efforts have borne fruit, the efforts are now going to be headed in the direction of what it is you need to do in order to cheat successfully. Yes. So meritocracy, which you speak of,
because if someone did it at KCPE level, then got away with it, what is stopping them from doing it at KCSE level?
They will spend their time, the whole of their lives with this university.
Yeah.
That's the person who will have a degree. They're not even sure what they read. They'll tell you they have a master's degree. Now you're even less sure.
So let's say they did it successfully at KCP, because we also have people who have faked their entire academic certificates.
There are people like that, yes.
So unapata mtu alifakia KCPE, akafakia KCSE, akafakia degree, na sasa ameingia kwa job market.
The job market will find you out. Utakuta huo mtu. You know, there are these people who you wonder, okay, this guy, he has been on this thing for some time. How is that just the fundamental understanding of this thing seems to constantly and consistently elude them? Because they never understood it to begin with.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that fake doctor, first of all, we found out the patient died. The one who went to that fake dental doctor. Then now the government is looking for this fellow. And I watched CS Duale yesterday saying that they want to roll out this thing whereby a doctor must, they must describe their scope of practice.
Actually,
and display it perhaps even in their
No, they need to make it better. You simply need to make available to the public, and repeatedly so, the role of doctors. It is online, and it is accompanied by a registration number. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
And when you've got it, there's a hotline for KMPC, which you can call, mention the doctor's name and the number. They'll confirm to you whether that guy is a doctor or not. It is not a complicated thing. That whole process I've just described will not take more than 5 minutes.
What if, CT, you are a medical doctor, you're a surgeon perhaps even, and I am a quack. So I take your details. I start calling myself CT Muga, doctor of a neurosurgeon. And I start practicing. So when you come to me, when a patient rather comes to me, they want to check my details so they can see. They just check out my name, CT Muga. I don't know if the website has my picture. So
it does.
So they check out.
They know who you are.
So they see. So this is a patient. They just want to confirm for their own reasons. Yeah. So a patient confirms and says, CT Muga is a neurosurgeon. I'm in safe hands. But the doctor that is operating on you or dealing with you is actually called Paul Mungala Mbuvi.
Your enrollment number and your practicing number. If he has all that.
Yeah.
When you cross-check, it means you've raised a red flag.
True.
If people don't check doctors' credentials, they know that's a doctor, they go and see the doctor. By the time you're checking the credential and it gets to KMBDC, they will now want to check. They will probably ask you, and where is this practice? All right? Where exactly, what exactly have taken? They will inquire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you been to this, to clinics, to Amta? Then you see the services mentioned outside before you get into the establishment. Then you see they have mentioned about 20 or so things that they can provide for you in this clinic. So this is one doctor called CT Muga who does who treats common illnesses, right? So he can treat the common cold, he can treat malaria, he can probably bandage you up, he does circumcision. Then you also see this guy does dental. You're like, aye. This guy does fertility tests. You're like, this guy and you look at your list of vitu. Let me call it a menu. You look at this menu of services that this doctor provides, and you're like, huyu jamaa alienda shule rather kusoma hizi vitu zote. So this guy does circumcision, but he also does dental.
There are very many small islands on Lake Victoria.
Migingo being one of them.
Migingo is not that small, but it's and people live there.
Yeah.
The others, people live there, but they're smaller.
Okay.
We're talking about bizarre happenings in the care and treatment of people who are HIV positive. Because when someone is HIV positive, the treatment, it doesn't just deal with antiretrovirals and antibiotics that you give them.
Yeah.
No, whatever the diseases that they have, what they call the opportunistic diseases, those are the things you want to take care of, because that's what will probably harm the patient.
Yeah.
I remember being told of one island, and when my colleagues went there to check on some patients, they had gone, it's called a routine follow-up. Okay? The work we did afforded us even a boat, so it was not difficult for us to go there.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, they went to this clinic, and the person who ran the clinic was somebody we had worked with. He had been a community health worker with us.
Okay.
He had a lab coat, and the waiting room was full.
This is a CHP.
Bro, this guy, I think his academic endeavors had taken him to Form 2.
Okay, I'm so sorry for laughing, but...
No, I think maybe he got to Form 4, I think it was Form 2.
The point is, he's not a doctor.
Point is, he's not trained in any medical work. Any training he has had to do with how we trained him to manage patients in counseling and so forth.
And probably identifying symptoms.
It is reported to me that this guy had 2 tins, plastic tins of medication. One had Actol, one had Panadol.
So ukienda kwake whatever disease naona huyu no Actol.
Nne mbili sahi, moja ni jioni tushuhudi. Na unasikia uchungu?
Paracetamol.
Mbili sahi. Kama unasikia uchungu.
Wewe narudi.
People swore by him.
What?
They swore by him.
People got treated. And were they cured?
People reported feeling much better after
visiting.
Yes.
Hiyo ni tango placebo. Kenyans, bana, you never cease to amaze me. Yeah, so that's that about that particular situation. You can check out more of these stories, by the way, on our website. That is radiogeneration.co.ke. That's where you'll get all the trending stories. Just in case you're wondering what else is on the offering as far as that is concerned, the government says that 61% of learners have joined senior secondary school. That is one story you can find there. You can also check out that story about that fake KCSE slip and more to do with your children going to school. Stolen livestock recovered in Isiolo after multi-agency security operation. That's also in there. State vows action over viral video of woman in vulnerable condition. I don't know if you've seen this story or seen this video. This gentleman who took a video of a lady. She looked like she had taken 1 or 2 drinks. And this gentleman decided to record her and, lifting up her attires at one point and exposing her indecently. So he took that video and then posted it on social media.
What?
Yeah. It was, so I don't know whether it's him who posted or someone posted on his behalf, but the point is the videos went viral.
How did that person get hold of the video to post in the first place?
Exactly. So that means that the person who took that video obviously sent it to a friend or two. But the point is he took a video of this woman and he shouldn't have. In my opinion, I saw in several WhatsApp groups people debating this issue, saying, both of them are on the wrong, This lady knew this man was married, but because at one point she was telling him, nipatie pesa ya taxi, nifanye nini? Niende nyumbani. Because the man was like, Abu, get out of here. My wife might do what? Might show up, or I think my wife is around. So kindly just, shoo. But the lady, she was like, okay, basi nipatie pesa ya Uber. But the guy was taking this video of her, touching her indecently, in my opinion, and in a public place. People could see this, lifting, her dress up, and it was quite ugly. And I see people saying that, both of them were on the wrong. This lady knew this man was, married. But look, first of all, taking a video, regardless of whether you're committed adultery, fornication, or whatever, taking a video of this person is wrong. And sharing it is even worse, So there's no two ways about it. So the state has said that they're looking for this person and there will be repercussions. And I'm for that idea of repercussions. Stories zingine wanasemanga kesi baadaye. Let's check out what's happening on the roads of Nairobi. Let me know where you're tuned in from in case there's traffic in that particular area as well.
Traffic.
Ngong Road is where we will start. Wanasemanga charity begins at home. So if you're around this area, let me give you a what is it called? A tip as to where you need to escape to. So Ngong Road is looking good. As usual, the junctions kidogo zimeshikamana, lakini generally Ngong Road is looking good. Raila Odinga Way, that is what you guys formerly know as Mbagathi Way. There are people who refuse to call it Raila Odinga Way, not because of any other reason, but it's because sometimes they don't know it's called Raila Odinga Way. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa inaitwa Mbagathi Way. Iko very clean at this particular hour. And then when you're coming to join Ngong Road, that
do you know why it is that Raila's name is associated with that road?
Yeah. He was Minister of Roads when the recarpeting of the road was commissioned, right?
It wasn't actually recarpeting. It was a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
The demonstration was what it is that a concrete road does and how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Repair free.
Yeah.
Meaning it lasts and lasts and lasts.
A very long time.
It lasts.
Yeah.
But it is not a road that is preferred by many people who are in the business of road construction.
Why so?
It doesn't allow for variation.
Yeah.
If it is known that this is what is needed, there will be no variation. The sun won't shine and you suddenly need more cement. The sun won't shine and you suddenly need more aggregate. Nothing. But the roads we have with the tarmac, variations.
Kila wakati.
Variation is as
potholes tunashida tukipea.
Variation, it has rained, variation. That one, it rains, it shines, it floods. Even if it snows, if you're told 50 years, bro, it will be 50 years. Meaning it'll last your lifetime and beyond.
Yeah.
I hope people don't like that sort of thing. Not good for business.
Here in Africa.
Not good for business.
All right. Mombasa Road looking good also at this particular time. Popo Road, kule sehemu za South Sea mnakaa mko sawa sawa. Enterprise Road also inakaa iko fiti wakati huu. And then we are looking at Outer Ring Road, Airport North Road. Airport North Road, a little bit of traffic, but Outer Ring generally looks good. A quick look at Mombasa. Mombasa ni kule mnasema shida iko wapi? Mombasa leo kusafi. Nyali Bridge kule pe kidogo tu ndio unaona ka trafiki kidogo. Alafu pale Lights Kengeleni kidogo ndio unaona kuna traffic. Faza Road pale Biashara City napo shikamana pale kidogo kuna msongamano wa magari. Msomangano. Alafu nikiangalia kule kwingine kote kuna kako sawa kabisa. Hamna complaints zozote zinatoka barabarani. Lakini mkiona chochote ambacho kinatendeka na mngependa kutuambia ili tuweze kuambia wananchi, basi tupate katika mitandao yetu, tovuti zetu zote na tutaweza kuwasiliana nawe. Shukran kwa sasa, wacha tuingie katika magazeti.
Traffic on Radio Generation.
All right, let's check out what's happening on the front page of the Daily Nation. City, I don't know if you watched the news yesterday.
No, I didn't.
The news yesterday was interesting because of ODM. So let me just read this and then tell you about it. So it's Odinga versus Oginga. Hola. So Winnie Odinga, the daughter of former ODM leader Raila Odinga, who died last October, has criticized an ODM wing she accuses of seizing power, railroading decisions without consultation and threatening critics with expulsion from the party. Winnie also defended ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and Abakasi East MP Babu Owino, setting up a clash with party leader Oburu Oginga, who is her uncle, who ni babake mkubwa. You can see that entire story on page 4 and 5. So here is Winnie quoted. Baba died just the other day, but they are in a hurry to get some things done. Not everyone believed in Baba. Some were only using him. This is Honorable Winnie Odinga, MP Iyala. And then Dr. Buru Oginga here, who's the ODM party leader. Those who wish to leave should do so on their own. Our focus is on strengthening the party. Waimbadi and Kerebos are in trouble. Do you want to understand why they're in trouble? Well, that story is on page 3, and this is what they're saying about it. Late last year, 2 ships with 55,000 tons of duty-free rice from India and Thailand docked at the port of Mombasa. The shipments worth 6 billion would not have attracted controversy were it not for the court order blocking the grain imports. Now, petitioners claim the government defied the order by publishing a new rice imports notice to circumvent another frozen by the courts. They want the High Court or Treasury. They want the High Court, to sanction Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi and Kenya Revenue Authority Commissioner General Humphrey Watanga, arguing the imports disadvantage local farmers. That story is on page 3. Kenyans still being lured to Russia. How, guys? How? Kenyans still being lured to Russia war. How? When Erastus Nyale left Kenya last October, he believed he had secured a 6-month driving job in Russia. Guys, anyway, he believed he had secured a 6-month driving job in Russia that would finally ease his family's financial strain. That story is on page 8. And then page 7, from Kanu's fall to Gen Z's rise, factors shaping LSK elections. That story is on page 7. People are still being lured to Russia.
Yep.
But anyway, this story is from last October, or rather it's been told that this gentleman was lured last October. I just hope that no one in 2026 is being lured. Anyway, so news jana kwa hii story ya kina Odinga na Oginga. ODM held 3 different events yesterday. One was held at Kibra, the grounds called Kamukunji. This one was led by Iyala MP Winnie Odinga and Raila Odinga Jr. These are the children of the late Honorable Prime Minister. And they had a huge crowd, like a proper crowd in that Kamukunji ground. And Honorable Winnie went on to say that, some of these things that are being quoted here, that kila mtu anasema ati aliongea na baba alimwambia kitu. Winnie akasema, let us go with the last thing Baba said publicly. Hizi zingine where CT says that niliongea na Baba in his last days. Oh, Baba texted me this. Oh, Baba called me. Baba, hiyo amesema, guys, tuache hiyo upuzi, according to her. Raila Jr., same story. The other meeting happened in Butere.
Right.
Butere, several leaders from ODM claiming to be the legitimate delegates said they convened a meeting in Butere, and it was attended by several leaders from that region. And then another one happened in Kisumu, also Kakamega. In Kakamega, which also had several leaders, including CS Oparanya, governors, and other dignitaries within the ODM leadership. Now, Dr. Oburu had to attend both. He had to go to the one in Butere. He had to go to the other one in Kakamega. My friend, I could see Daktari sweating. Because from where I sit, and this is as Paul Mungala Mbuvi, I am not an ODM member. I am not a member of any political party. But from where I sat, I could tell you for free, and this is my own analysis, and I could be wrong on this, but Daktari Oburu, pale jana ameona kivu, alikuwa na sweat. Because you could see he was trying to please this side. He was trying to go and check out what is happening on this side. Of course, he didn't come to the one in Nairobi because that one is, in my opinion, is being held by rebels. Hao ni wale naweza ita rebels vizuri sana. Ile group ya the Young Turks, as we'd like to call them. So yeah, that is what happened as far as ODM is concerned over the weekend. And I checked it out and I was like, if this party survives, it's going to be one of the strongest parties we will ever have in this country.
Why is it that it's being deemed as a split within ODM? What if that was the plan?
Perhaps it was the plan. I don't know. Again, and that's why I said if it survives all this melee we are seeing.
That's what I'm questioning.
Because we have the young folks here in Nairobi.
There's the drama that we are seeing.
Bas.
What if this drama was planned?
What if it was planned? And I like that question because in politics you can never dismiss anything. I wouldn't dismiss that. Because
interpretations galore, but the media, we in the media, playing right up to the gallery that we like playing up to, we must make the headlines as adversarial as possible. What if there is no adversary? This was planned. Says, guys, why don't we test the ground and see how people are responding to this?
But you tell me how Winnie Odinga would go head to head with his uncle, with her uncle.
But you see, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Where is it? If you all do separate meetings, where are you going head to head with you?
And Raila Junior.
Into head to head. If there was a meeting in Kamkunji and another one in Nyayo, in Nairobi, that one head to head, the narrative makes sense. Meeting in Nairobi. And then Butere.
Another one Kakamega.
Hey, God. Where's the head to head? The audience there is completely different. This one that you're addressing Kamkunji, completely different.
Okay.
The demographic is completely different. Where is the competition? Where is the head-to-head?
Because
yes,
even in these separate meetings, like in one of the meetings, I can't remember which one, but Dr. Oburu actually, for lack of a better word, ni kama alikuwa anazushia, nitumie word, alikuwa anazushia, calling out Oparanya, telling him to stop dividing the party. This is the party leader, Dr. Oburu Oginga.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
You summarized it well, and I will not add to it.
Right.
Do not ever take political statements at face value. Do not also take political actions at face value.
You're right.
Don't. See them for what they are and glean what you can from each of those. But lumping together as in a comparison, what they say in English, juxtaposing. My friend, you may if you wish, but this is politics.
Yeah.
And you really don't know why. Why couldn't they have held those rallies on different days? Why hold them on the same day?
And that's what I'm saying. I think this is, I don't think it's a ploy to confuse.
Not confuse. This is data gathering. Remember, all human interactions are a process of data gathering. You are gathering data. You have a meeting, you want to determine how do people respond. This is the first such outing after we buried Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
Okay? So, these are family members, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
Winnie is fully aware, Winnie Baba Mkubwa, anamfahamu vizuri sana. Okay? What could they possibly disagree over?
I wonder.
That's the point I'm trying to make. I am simply trying to explain that the media sometimes doesn't play devil's advocate. The media sometimes wants to play God. You want to shape the narrative, you want to direct the narrative so that it can be seen in a particular light. And I'm asking the question, wait, what if that isn't light but it's darkness? What if it isn't what you're saying? Yes, this is ODM after all.
Hey, bro, hata kama this is ODM. Anyway, so the Standard has a similar headline and it's saying ODM rift explodes. Power war is what they're calling it. Wanasema hivi, Winnie Odinga has stomped back into ODM politics with a show of force that has rattled the party's New Park Center. Commanding a mammoth Kamukunji crowd reminiscent of the late father's rallies, the Iala MP warned ile place ilikuwa imejaa boss.
Sio mzuri.
But anyway, ni Kibra pia. I'd like to see her pull at such a crowd anywhere else. But yeah, so the Yala MP warned party bosses against unilateral decisions and demanded a national delegates conference before any 2027 realignments. Her intervention sharply contrasts with smaller rival meetings led by party leader Oburu Oginga and exposes widening cracks as ODM weighs coalition talks with President Ruto's UDA. From Kibra to Kakamega, the party Raila built is now openly divided between unity calls, rebellion threats, and a high-stakes fight for its soul.
This is the media at its very best, creating and shaping a narrative.
City, by the way, do you know, if it actually ends up, if things end up in the direction you're saying, you're a genius. If this is what, if they're testing the waters to see, guys, maybe this is what they agreed. Maybe they said, wewe, nyinyi vijana, go this direction, find out what the ground is saying. Sisi wazee, tuende pande na pia kwa wazee, let's split ourselves kidogo and see what let's test this and see which direction we should take. If it actually happens that way, if they end up united at the end of it all, we're talking about Sifuna, Sifuna, Babu, Winnie and Raila Jr. and Oburu, and we see all of them united in 2027. Let
me ask you, with all this noise,
yes,
has any of them left ODM?
No, they haven't.
Look, I don't know why it is that something you can actually watch unfolding before your very eyes and make decisions as it unfolds. You want to jump ahead of the activities that are before you, and then you want to sum them up, and then you want to give them an analysis and a conclusion. Based on what? Where is the division? People have held rallies in 3 different locations. Where is the division?
You're a genius.
No, it's not a question of being a genius, but where is the division? Where?
I hear you.
This issue, just listen to the statement that Winnie Odinga has made. She is talking about individuals who don't want to be criticized, who want to accommodate criticism within the party. Raila Odinga accommodated criticism.
Yes.
He accommodated, should we say, differing voices. If that were not so, people like Orengo would never have been accommodated. Anyang Nyong'o, they didn't always see eye to eye politically.
James Orengo.
Professor Anyang Nyong'o. The one politician who was consistently and constantly riled by the media and never once took people to court was Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
Now, let's be honest about politics. Don't assume that the politician is going to accommodate every kind of differing voices. There are voices they don't accommodate. Every politician is the head of a power structure, and anything that might threaten that power structure, they will not treat kindly.
Yeah,
that's just a simple truth.
Yeah,
but it makes me wonder, for instance, about the Ugandan election. If the narrative that Bobby Wine isn't somebody who could actually win an election, why does the state use so much force to stifle him? They do not see that they are the ones who popularized Bobby Wine more than anything else. Or they do not see that even Besigye, they are the ones who've kept Besigye in the news. There's always something they're doing to him, against him. And now it is reported 20 people have died in that election.
Yeah.
We've had people dying in our elections. The time that we were ashamed to the very nth was in 2008 when over 1,000 people died. Okay? That was something else. But beyond that, our elections, one doesn't hear of deaths. And when one does, it's a death with a purpose. You wonder, why did they have to kill so-and-so? You look at the job they did. Like people asked about Musando. But beyond that, even clashes just within the areas of politics, people don't die. Not really. People disagree, people clash. You may have a place, one person died, but that's just about it. The question is, one life is one life too many. That's a reality. But sometimes I feel that we in the media, there is a responsibility we have which we've determined to abdicate. We are determined that we must substitute that particular duty that we have with sensationalism. Why not give the public a reasoned, well thought out analysis of a situation? Look at the background of the founder of this party and how he went about his business. How he handled the differences, how he accommodated differences. How many people do we know of who are elected within the spheres of influence of ODM in other parties, but they still paid allegiance to Baba? The problem was with the ODM different, but with Baba they were very close. And later on even went back to ODM and won. I'm simply saying the dynamics of the ODM politics are a little more complex than we are trying to make it out in the media. That is a straight and forward meat and potato situation where one day interpretation fits all. No, it doesn't.
Hi. Over to you, katika magazeti.
Tough new task. After bruising campaigns, an election marred by internet blackout, failed machines and claims of fraud, the presidents find an in-tray full of wish lists from Ugandans. This is the story on page 4 and 5. But against this backdrop, there's something that Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, had to say regarding the youth and their need for the demand for change. They said, look, I am paraphrasing here. These young people have a message which we need to listen to. And if we do not listen to this message, we will be overthrown.
Okay.
There are many. And these views must be accommodated. When people speak in a certain manner, they are listened to. The president of Tanzania, Madam
Suluhu,
says the voice of Tanzania has been heard through the ballot box, and that voice must be respected.
Yes.
Tanzania is talking about accommodation, promising inclusion in the politics. And now, the purveyors of prophecy are saying it might even end up with a new constitution. So there is a lot that is happening. And it all points out the commonality is people are listening.
Yes.
The leaders are listening. Okay?
Yeah.
I dare say in this country, the president seems to be the one person who is doing more listening than even those who are opposing him. Look at the energy he's pouring into going at his politics. Just look at the energy he's pouring into it.
Yeah.
Compared to the other people who say they're in the united position, they are not exposing or portraying even a small fraction of that energy to sell their agenda. They visit here and there, trying this and that, but it's not the same. And if you look at, and I'm repeating something I said last week, I'm repeating so that you may take note, UDA is actually structuring and forming into a party with structures that make sense, a structure that you can see, and a membership that is also not just relevant, but makes sense. Which means that the party is creating a system that will outlast Ruto.
Yeah.
I do not see the united opposition and their parties doing any such thing. The closest I've come to seeing it in people who are in the united opposition is Martha Karua's party. That's the closest I got to it. But they are not also as well disciplined and as focused and driven like the UDA are driven. So when one looks at our politics and one looks at change, it may not come in the manner that you expected it, but strangely enough, the person who is actually spearheading change is the president and his party.
You know, when we were talking about ODM and trying to figure out what these guys are up to, you know, there's something that has just hit me. It has hit me in this sense, that all this kelele tunaona between the leaders, and I know at one point we were even saying that we might see a President Ruto and a Governor Wanga ticket for presidency and running mates. And I'm thinking, what if that person is actually Winnie Odinga? So President and Winnie Odinga. President as, of course, candidate, Winnie Odinga as running mate.
That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
That would be extremely interesting.
That would be crazy interesting, CT. That would really change some dynamics. And
that would be interesting in the most bizarre way possible.
Yeah.
And I mean the word bizarre deliberately.
Right.
Because it'll be,
Because not only have you rallied up the youth vote, in my opinion, which might not be 100%, but I mean, you've given them an option.
The youth vote is more than significant.
Bas. But I'm saying their efficiency in now campaigning to the youth, that for me, that would be something to look forward to. And then, of course, you've captured the president who is, very popular. So that would be something. That would actually give the opposition a run for their money. I know what you're about to say, but that would. I don't know.
I'm actually not disagreeing with you.
Yes.
Because I clearly hadn't thought of that combination. But my friend, it could introduce some very interesting dynamics into that whole process. Very interesting dynamics.
You tell me if we have President Ruto and then we need. You know what? I'd like to hear from the viewers as well. Find us on I want us to trend today, by the way, if you can. Our hashtag is the people's breakfast. Okay, no apostrophes, no city. You endo liwa mwalimu wa Kiingereza. Kale kana kwanga pale juu ni nini? Apostrophe.
Yes, it's an apostrophe.
Right. So just why don't you use that as a hashtag?
And zikiwa mbili, the inverted commas, which for a long time as a child, I thought was invited commas.
Or invited.
Yes.
They were told to come over.
Yes.
So why don't you find us on our X account that is at Radio Gen KE. But if you haven't subscribed, please do. We are currently live there. Edna tells me that we're having some technical issues on our YouTube. So in case you're wondering what's up with that, don't worry. She's sorting that out. But we are live on X. You can get to still watch CT on X. You can get to watch CT on our Radio Generation website. That is radiogeneration.co.ke. But I want you to get tweeting. The hashtag is the People's Breakfast. And let me know, what do you think of a President Ruto and Winnie Odinga ticket? Just what do you think? let me get to read your comments in a short while. Of course, we're getting into the news cycle in a couple of minutes, so that is something I'm definitely looking forward to seeing as far as that is concerned. Muniambie what you think about, because I'm actually thinking, I've been thinking deep since City said this, that what if us want to enjoy? What if this is a test, a litmus test of sorts, where they're like, let's see, what do Kenyans think, and which is the best reagent to use than ODM? ODM is the best equipment or tool to use and see if to test the ground, because ODM is widely loved all over the country, from coast to coast.
It is.
North to south.
It is.
ODM tu ndio ile tu chama inaweza ingia mahali popote Kenya bila stress. Saizi.
True.
Yeah. So it's been used as the I think it's been used as the vehicle to test the ground and see what people really want. And if people seem to kuegemea upande wa Winnie Odinga na Raila Jr., president amepata running mate wake. Sasa watu ninahurumia ni wale watu wenye wanasema wako na shares kwa hiyo running mate position. Hao ndio ninahurumia, my friend.
Radio generation, the sound is fine. Pump it up, turn it high all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has urged church leaders and community members to take the lead in anti-drug campaigns, saying the fight against alcohol and substance abuse cannot be left to the government alone. Speaking during a church service at St. Francis Katanin Catholic Church in Mosop, Nandi County, on Sunday, Murkomen called on parents to take responsibility for their children's whereabouts. He noted that strong family and community involvement is key to keeping young people from going astray.
There are few characters wanaoperate hapa North Rift. Wanatoa hiyo pombe huko Uganda, wanaleta ethanol, wanakuja kwa adulterate, wanauzia watoto ya watu, wanaumia kwa mambo ya pombe, wanaharibu maisha yao, wanaharibu pia uzao wao, ndio wazikuwe na ukoo ya baadaye. Mimi, I want to say this, from the marching orders of the president, we have put together the team, na mtakuwa mnasoma tu kwa gazeti ni nini imefanyikia wale ambao wanafanya tabia kama hiyo. And we will be very ruthless.
The government says Kenya is making good progress with 100% school transition policy. In a statement on Sunday by Interior Ministry, it says 61% of learners who qualify have already joined a senior secondary school, with enrollment still ongoing. At the same time, 97% of pupils who completed grade 6 last year have successfully moved to junior secondary school. The government says the figures show strong support from both parents and schools, and that learner transition under the CBC system remains on track across the country. No one will push me out of the ODM party, East African Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament Winnie Odinga has declared. Winnie, the late Raila Odinga's daughter, dismissed suggestions that dissenting voices within the party risk being pushed out. She said the party has room for divergent views and that no directive had ever been issued by the late Raila Odinga to remove any member.
Kwenye hii safari, sisi tulikuwa abiria na baba alikuwa dereva ya basi hili. Na kuna siku moja tuliamka na tukashtuka, dereva amekufa. Aliaga dunia. Kidogo kidogo wale walikuwa na keti mbele wamekimbia kwenye steering wheel, kila mtu anavuruta pande hii, mtu mwingine pande hii. Wametusukuma sisi kama abiria, wametusukuma kama magunia. Tuko nyuma. Wamesahau. Na vile tunasema hapa leo, ngojeni. Baba alikufa juzi tu. Tulieni.
Mombasa County has launched measures to fix long-standing problems affecting its outdated sewer system, which dates back to 1930s when the city had a population of about 30,000. Today, the coastal city hosts more than 1.9 million people, putting heavy strain on the aging infrastructure. County officials said the problem has been worsened by illegal sewer connections by some residents and businesses. The county government has now stepped up enforcement to track down illegal connections and take action against those responsible.
Leo hii tuko hapa mtaa wa Old Town na tuko hapa kuhakikisha kuwa tuko katika operation ya kushika illegal connectors wa siwa.
Kwa majina naitwa Coach Talib Ali Yusuf. Mimi ni mkazi wa Kuze na naishi hapa na tunashukuru Mombasa County. Wakati wa nyuma tulikuwa maji tunapata shida. Nashukuru maji yanakuja vizuri na maji ya kisima.
A fire at a shopping center in Pakistan's city of Karachi has killed 6 people over the weekend as firefighters continue to battle the blaze. Parts of Gold Plaza containing 1,200 stores and spanning 8,000 square meters have collapsed, which officers said was hampering rescue efforts. One firefighter is among the dead. More than 20 people have been injured, and there are fears some are still trapped inside the multi-story mall. More than 30 people have been reported missing by their families. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning. I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
Welcome back. This is Radio Generation. The time right now is 6 minutes past 7 o'clock. CT amesema kuna jamaa anafaa kwenda ushago aone kama atapata kura 50.
Kile kijiji anakotoka
ndio before
siko na jina. Sasa hapo anajulikana. Baba anajulikana, babu anajulikana na kadhalika, sio? Sasa ikiwa umejipendekeza kwao na kupigia kura, basi tunajua kwamba huyu kule anakotoka ni mtu nini anapendwa na watu wake. Sasa hata akiomba kura kwa wengine lazima bwana kama wenzake ambao wanamjua tangu azaliwe wanaona kwamba anafaa, sisi pia basi lakini bila hiyo anajiongelesha.
Salamu ziwafikie the following people before we get deep into our conversation for this hour. We have Don Sabwa saying, morning Paul and CT. Paul, thanks CT on my behalf for answering questions. Did CT see what happened in Kibra? Give him a thumb up. How is he? Well, CT is right here and he's very much okay. He wasn't in Kibra, or rather he didn't see what happened in Kibra, but I think I have done a good job at explaining.
You did a wonderful job of explaining it.
Yes.
I do not attend political rallies and I also do not attend football matches.
Okay. So same WhatsApp group, yeah?
Yeah, same.
Tupac Shakur amesema happy Martin Luther King Day. Well, happy Martin Luther King Day to you too, Tupac. Dr. Hosea Koech anasema good morning CT and Paul. I look forward to today's show. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. But I'm reading our YouTube comments. So if you're there, kindly let us know your thoughts. Peter Muli amesema it was in ET. It was in extra time. Well, they hadn't gotten to extra time, Peter Muli. I think he's talking about the AFCON final. They scored in the 94th minute. Yeah. Interesting times we're living in, guys. John Mutua amesema I'm tuned in.
By the way, he's not wrong. Game 1 45. Not wrong, sindio? In 90. So ukiongeza 4, it probably meant injury time.
Yes. Well, John Mutua amesema I'm tuned in. Thank you so much, John. Dr. Hosea Koech amesema listening from South Africa. Thank you so much. Sungura Yones, hello from freezing Michigan. John Mutua anasema Qatar niko tuned kabisa. Only I miss my friend City. Well, actually this goal was scored in extra time. Yeah, extra time. So they actually played the whole 90 minutes and then they went into extra time. Oh yeah, because I watched the first half. All right, thanks for that correction.
Jamal kwa melala. Jamal is this guy.
Niliwatch nini. So they actually went beyond the 90 minutes. Yes. Wow. Okay. John Mutua amesema Qatar niko tuned in kabisa. Jobo Mosa, thank you for that. Umetuambia it was scored in extra time. Wanjala says, good morning City and Paul, tuning in from Tuda in Mombasa. Marit amesema, good morning Kings and Queens. Sadio Mane showed true sportsmanship and leadership even though he was not captain. Kitengele iko locked in. And then John Gugi amesema, I would vote for that ticket. It would be scary for the not so united opposition. The Ruto Winnie Odinga ticket. All right, let's get into our conversation for this hour. We want to understand the constitution and why we need to change the agenda. If at all, we will change it. Let me introduce our guest, and then CT is going to ask him. He's going to rather narrate. Is it narrate? He's going to tell him.
Narrate is good.
I'm talking about Abner Collins Mango. He's an advocate of the High Court, and he's an LSK candidate for general member representation for this 2026-2028. Do I call it? Munaitanga term, eh?
Yeah, term.
But Abner, good morning and welcome to Radio Generation.
Good morning, Mbuvi. Good morning, City. Thank you for having me here.
Karibu sana.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Tutasema Happy New Year mpaka March. So bear with us.
Asante.
So City, our
proverbs for the whole of this week from the Republic of Mali, a very interesting country with an extremely rich history and fascinating leaders. Another proverb. I will want you to tell me what you think of the proverb and the meaning. If you have an enemy, admit he can run fast. If you have an enemy, admit he can run fast.
Yes, thank you for that, City. But before I delve into it, I generally hear men who don't watch football because they have other passions.
Such as?
I won't mention.
Okay.
Yes, so it was an interesting weekend. Let me before I get into it.
Right.
First, I'm not a Manchester United fan, but they did that thing.
Yes. Oh, yes, they did.
So Manchester is now red. Yeah, they beat Man City, and of course, I was so happy for I'm a believer of black.
Yes.
So when Senegal won that thing,
you were happy.
It was
rooting for them.
I was rooting for them.
I told City I watched the first half.
Yes.
And then I went to sleep because nilianza kusinzia kwa City. So I didn't want to struggle. So then when I woke up, I saw they had scored in the 94th minute. So I naturally assumed they had played 90 plus 4.
No. And right before that, interesting, the last kick of the game was a penalty. Morocco with VAR. And the person interestingly went for what we call the pelanka.
Yeah.
And the goalkeeper was sharp and saw it. So, it's either two things. Either you look too good or you look too stupid. Pelanka is when you chip the ball. So you chip the ball just right in the middle. So your assumption is the goalkeeper will either go right or left.
Yeah.
So you go for the center and you chip it.
And this fellow did not.
So he didn't move. Maybe now to go to your proverb.
He compared to
Pap. He compared us. Yeah. So it only has two results. They look too good or too stupid.
Yeah.
So he fell for the latter.
Right.
Yes. So just to go right into your proverb.
Yes.
There's an artist who said all his enemies are suffering. Yeah. But it's not about that.
That is BN.
So it's just that for me, my interpretation is that do not despise, because they are capable of doing the unthinkable. So they might have their weaknesses, they have their strengths.
Yeah.
So generally, it's just to look out for them and always watching your back, so that you're sure you are at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And actually pray for them. Yeah, so that they be better, not bitter. That's my interpretation.
The beauty of interpretations is always give us a perspective that we couldn't have thought of.
Yes.
Thank you.
Asante.
You are an LSK candidate for general member.
Yes.
What is that?
So so the Law Society of Kenya established under the Law Society of Kenya Act. So if you look at Section 4, there are two interesting sections that I'll interpret now, Section 4 and Section 6 of the Law Society of Kenya Act. So Section 4 now is what generally gives the Law Society of Kenya the right to look at anything that deals with the public interest.
Okay.
So just the defense of the rule of law. And Section 6 is the like the corporate governance perspective. So it gives the values and virtues of the society. So under Section 4, we establish, and the interesting terms, if you remember, like during presidential petitions, terms like amicus curiae. No, not amicus is friend of the court.
Legal, terminology.
Yes, so an amicus curiae is a friend of the court.
All right.
So what LSK is always enjoined in this petition is to interpret the law, to help the court interpret the law.
Okay.
And like in the last general election, there's a question we always try to answer as a country. What is a spoiled vote? So that if CT decides to say, I do not want any of these candidates, should it be termed as an invalid vote or is it a valid vote cast? Yeah? Or if you want, for example, to go with the ballot paper home because you do not agree with any of those candidates.
Yes.
Yeah? So that's a question that we always answer each year when there's a presidential election.
Yes.
So that if you look at the US, part of their ballot is none of the above. So if you don't agree with any of that candidate, you can actually go and vote that you do not. Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to answer your question directly.
Yes.
So the general member is the convener. We have at the society, we have the Law Society of Kenya Public Interest Litigation Committee. So the general member is the convener. There are two conveners, so assisted by a co-convener. So generally, it's just to watch out and look out for the defense of the rule of law. Now, we were in an interesting period the last 2 years from the finance bill. So the first one, the Gen Z protest, and I thank God for the leadership we had and Faith Odhiambo.
Yes.
Shout out to her. So we generally had a lot of work. So it started simply. So the Gen Zs were being arrested and released. So we started as police action. We used to call it police action.
Yes.
So we could go to this police station and push for their release, either on free bail or cash bail. Now they escalated it. So now they started being charged. And there were interesting charges, you won't believe. Either destruction of property or you won't believe it, drunk and disorderly. So you'd ask, there's a day we had like 300 people arraigned in court.
Wow.
So on that day for protests, which bar is this that was open in town that all these 300 people were drinking?
Maybe they drank in Mlolongo then.
How? And you'd remember the temperatures.
All arrested in town.
They're all arrested in
Not
town.
Mlolongo.
Right. Not Mlolongo, different places. So where were they? So it was just a punitive action. Now, it revolved. So we moved from now charges and abductions. Now there's a petition.
This process just kept escalating.
It kept escalating.
Yeah.
So there's a petition that I was instructed by the society to do. I actually call it petition E714 of 2024. I remember I was in Dala in the Bundos on 26th of December.
Yeah.
And if you remember, just at the Christmas Eve on 24th, 23rd, so many young men who are vocal on X. I don't want to mention their names, but anyway, the Kibet Bulls, the Bernard Kavuli, Rono, they were all abducted.
Okay.
Yeah. And we had to move with speed. So we filed that petition on 26th of December.
Yes.
And the good judge, Justice Mamuye, summoned us in court on 30th and gave orders to the Inspector General to produce this. It was a habeas corpus application.
What does habeas corpus mean?
Habeas corpus means produce the body.
Yeah,
dead or alive.
Yeah,
produce the body. And we have an active constitution. I remember the other day when we were still advocating for the release of Bob Jagi in Uganda and
Nicholas Oyo.
They have an interesting application because they have it's 48 hours, but in Kenya it's a 24-hour thing. So produce this body.
Okay,
and
but there is also called habeas corpus.
It's still habeas corpus, but their laws are not very progressive.
All right.
Yeah. So we were summoned in court on 30th, and we were joined. So many people in court, and I thank for that pressure. Senior counsel Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua joined us in that petition, and we were told to go back on 31st. And that is when that very infamous video when that Mzee broke down in court. I don't know if you guys watched it.
We did,
because he believed that his son will be presented on 31st, and they didn't. So the IG was summoned for contempt on 7th. And surprisingly, on 6th, these boys were found different places in the country. Yeah, just a day before the IG was to be, punished for contempt. Yeah. So that kind of
What
action.
happens if you're found guilty of contempt of court?
Now, it's interesting because it opens the Pandora's box, or quote unquote, the can of worms. Now, just before that, if you'd remember, the DIG Masengeli, still again, Bob Njagi is pretty, and the Longton brothers, the two brothers. So CT, that time, if you remember, Masengeli was actually found in contempt of court.
Yes.
But he presented. So if you're found in contempt, the only way you can purge the contempt
is appearing
and apologizing to the court.
Yes.
Yeah. So he read his statement and apologized to court. And again, a day before he was to punished, again
appeared.
the two guys appeared, the Longton brothers and Bob Njagi were released. So just to answer your question directly.
Yes.
Right after he was found in contempt.
Yes.
A Kenyan, I'm just forgetting his name, these people who filed these PIL cases, went for Chapter 6, because once you're in contempt, it means you're guilty.
Yes.
So you have breached. So
Chapter
you
6
can,
of the
Chapter 6,
Leadership
so it goes
and
back,
integrity.
leadership and integrity. So actually, it's a very big question, because now, are you capable, or are you deemed fit now to still serve Kenyans? And you've been found to be in contempt of court. So it's not a child's play.
Yeah.
It's not a child's play.
Yeah. Wakili, the people who we have seen over and over, they have been found in contempt, but they're still in office. How many times has a CS been summoned? How many times has a PS been summoned? Even the IG and their deputies, several times. And they keep on saying, hey, I can't appear. I'm doing this security operation in Lodwa.
Yes, Lodwa. Yes, that's what was Masengeli was saying. Yes,
hey, I can't appear.
Yes,
I have this security situation in West Pokot.
Yes.
I can't appear. We have
bandits.
This very serious meeting at KICC.
Yes.
And then the people who are supposed to execute this order in terms of arresting these individuals
are the same police.
These juniors.
Why is that strange?
Yeah, it's not really strange, but I'll say strange in this way, because the IG, the DIGs, they move with this battalion of officers. Now, any of these officers can actually arrest them. And najua vizuri sana, there's this court order for this guy, on sometimes even in some cases an arrest warrant, because I remember there's a very unique situation I witnessed in this country some 3 maybe 4 years ago, where the prison's boss had an arrest warrant out for him, and the IG also at the same time, I believe this was either IG Kome or a different one, I could be wrong, had an arrest warrant out for him at the same time. And in my head, I remember having this conversation in the house with my family members. I'm like, unajua wakishika ujamaa anafaa kwenda prison ya yule jamaa mwenye pia yeye akona arrest warrant out on him. So how does this work?
Remember the head of the prison lost his job.
At the time, yes.
And he was arrested
as
his offices, yeah?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So, that someone can respond to a summons is serious progress. They used to just ignore those things. Say nothing, do nothing, and then nothing happens.
Say nothing.
Yes. That they respond, that you see change, it means they are beginning to understand that the law is above them, not the other way around. It is a shift in significance that may not be noticed, but believe me, the law is beginning to work. In fact, the democratic process we speak of is not judged by the laws we have, but how those in high authority respond to it. Whether that law can hold these people in check, because they are the ones who have a tendency of setting bad examples that then people follow en masse.
Yeah.
So this and the pressure that the Law Society brought to bear from 2024, it is absolutely significant. The enormity of it is probably not being seen. But I can assure you that those who are in the habit of just doing what they wanted willy-nilly are a lot more careful now than they were before.
Yeah.
They are infinitely more careful because the pressure doesn't let up. Now, the reason why I'm harping on this is I'm taking us back to the role of the citizens in ensuring that there's accountability of the leaders. When the public hold leadership to account, believe me, they know they're being held to account. And it's just a question of time when they realize this arrest that I hear people, I may actually very well be arrested and I may actually very well go to court. The former South Korean president who was accused of malpractice, for falsifying documents, 5-year term jail.
And she was actually...
No,
He's
He's been given a scholarship by his government for 5 years.
Scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mbuvi, to answer your question. Now,
Yes.
contempt is at the face of the court. So it's no longer about the parties. It's about respect of the rule of law and court orders. Now, our constitution is shaped in a way that there are three arms of government, as you know. So there's a judiciary, legislature, and executive. So these three arms are supposed to work, yes, together, but they are independent of each other. Now, let me give you a classical example. City has mentioned South Korea. I'll come back home. One of the presidential candidates, Fred Matiang'i, during the when Miguna was exiled.
Yes.
Remember, there were court orders.
Yes,
he was first arrested and spent a night at Limuru. The next day, he was arraigned in court in Kajiado.
Yes, he was.
You remember?
Yes.
And Justice Odunga, as he was then, now he's at the Court of Appeal, when he was sitting at the High Court, found Fred Matiang'i to be in contempt. And he was sentenced, and he was given a fine. And remember, the judge had, in his orders, had said that this fine to be directly deducted from his salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his bread and butter was to be interfered with.
Waliguza hapo.
So respect for the rule of law is important, because now, interestingly, recently, last year, now the Court of Appeal overturned his contempt, and it was very important for him, because if he was to present his papers with those orders as they were, he could not have been cleared. And even if he was cleared, somebody will have gone to court and challenged and said, look, this fella,
This guy is in contempt.
yeah. He was guilty of contempt. So he's like any other prisoner. And remember, for example, the Sonko situation, the good conduct thing. There was a whole hullabaloo about it.
Yes.
Because there were a lot of issues. He had court cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might look light, but it's not very light. So the Court of Appeal said, fine. Yes, he was guilty, but they came up with a very interesting technicality. They said he was not personally served.
Yeah.
And it overturned the whole contempt. Yeah, said, okay, fine, very well. But you see, this guy, that application, one, was not a formal application. It was done orally. Then two, he was not served. So because of that, we have acquitted him of the contempt.
But do you know why
what happened there? We don't know.
You know, these high-profile cases may seem not to make even a dent in the practice that people in high office have in this country, the practice of disregarding court rulings. But there's something that can be missed out. With every high-profile case, we get to understand aspects of the law that we would ordinarily not understand. With every case that goes to court, whether it's a magistrate's court or a high court, the pronouncements, again, educate us further on the law. Because when he went to Kajiado, Miguna was taken there.
Yeah.
The magistrate there did not agree with the state.
Yes.
Clearly,
Yeah.
he said no.
Yeah.
Now, when you have people who at least stand up and say, look, this is what the law says, okay? What is happening is that we are beginning to understand the rule of law and its practice, and it generates hope, because you know this thing actually works. You can't just wholesale dismiss and say the rule of law in this country works. It may work in bits and pieces, but if you look carefully, the bits and pieces are increasing.
Yeah.
Why? Because people who ordinarily would never be taken to court are being taken to court.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And they're being challenged.
Yeah. So again, getting back to these high-profile cases and the issues that we are facing, because some of them, like you've said, I feel like they're usually dismissed on technicalities.
Yes.
Or like when someone like an IG appears before the court last minute and says, oh, I'm sorry, by the easy meetings are loaded, zilikuwa mingi sana. They're let off, easy for lack of a better word. Or, you know, hours before the expiry of this particular summons, someone appears who had been abducted. And I'm like, Anyway, it's the country we live in.
Yes, I agree with City. It's like different moving parts.
Yes.
Body. But we are getting there. We are not yet there, but we are getting there.
Yeah.
We are getting there. And that's why it's very important. Even you've talked of the LSK elections, that advocates give us the right president. And again, tribute to Faith. I think she's done very well in her term.
Faith did a tremendous job.
And now we are moving into a very sensitive period in time as a country, because 2027 is here with us. You said you'll say Happy New Year until March. By the time you're done, the political temperatures will have increased.
They're already boiling over.
Yes, and Kenyans look at the Law Society of Kenya as their defender. And those people are like, wait a minute, this is not being done right. So we need a president who is one, not a sympathizer of the state, and two, who will defend the rule of law. Because I know, and we all know, whenever we get into these election periods, very interesting things happen. Now, our good neighbors, for example, you've seen what has just happened in Uganda in the elections, and we have advanced as a democracy. So we really need someone who will be out there and make sure that these things are done as per the law. Yes.
President Museveni said Kenya and Uganda, we are the same pygmies.
We are competing who is shorter. I didn't like that statement.
I was like...
He is not wrong.
Oh, really?
He is not wrong at all. We cannot measure our success based on the absence of success of our neighbors. There is what you do, there's what you earn, and there's what your potential is. Given what we like crowing about our human resource, the service industry that we're very good at, the stability, all these things, if they were to be actualized and given their proper place, my friend, we should be far, far, far away developmentally than where we are. We should be thinking in terms of lending people money. We should be thinking of helping other economies grow, not being beggars who at every turn we have a begging bowl going somewhere. Now we're being told we're supposed to have another Euro bond and what have you. No, but we actually shouldn't be there if we are as great as we think we are.
You see, President Museveni has got every right to say whatever he said, but it still doesn't negate the fact that we are way ahead than Uganda.
No, we are not.
City, I don't necessarily agree.
No,
and for this very reason.
No, we are not. Why wouldn't you ask me why I'm saying what I'm saying?
City,
you people disagree with something you haven't even.
I want to hear Abner.
No, I don't necessarily agree, and sometimes we take some of these things for granted, City. Now, just days before the elections in Uganda, an interesting memo came out from their communications authority, and they said, look, you guys, you won't have WhatsApp, Facebook, and X.
Not just WhatsApp. They shut down the entire internet.
Shut down. And that also happened to our other neighbors, Tanzania.
Mobile money transfers were also shut.
And they said it's only for essential services will be able to do that.
Exactly.
And that is a bad space to be in.
So you Kenyans,
even something like freedom of expression, not there.
So
sorry, City.
No, please go ahead.
The presidential candidate, Bobby Wine, was under house arrest, but this time he was a step ahead of them because I don't know, maybe he created a bunker because now they looked for him. Now they didn't find him. Because that happened also in the last election. And they tell you, look, he's under house arrest for his own security. I mean, what nonsense is that? So it might look small. I'm campaigning under the agenda. We have some low-hanging fruits. So the low-hanging, at least for us, we have that space for, you can express yourself. Our democracy, a rule for the people, by the people, and for the people. So we even have political parties. Look, Mama Sulu won the election at an amazing 99%
of the vote,
and there were like 18 candidates. So these guys split the 2% or one. Kitu kama hiyo wakagawana. So 500, 2,000 votes, and Tanzania is big. Tanzania population is around, I think, 60 million.
No, they're more than that.
Even more than that. So I don't agree with you. We might be slightly taller, but we are not big.
We might be dwarfs, like we are taller dwarfs.
Since the two of you have not asked me why I have the view I have.
Oh, sorry, City.
I
why?
asked myself, City, why do you have that view that you have? Well, now that you've asked, my view is as follows.
Yes.
It is true. Everything you say is absolutely true. For me, the measure of a country that's ahead of the others is not really complicated. Everything that you said notwithstanding is a country that is able to feed its people, and a country that looks at those who are underserved and those who don't have the privilege of being able to guarantee a meal a day. We have this situation in our country where that number of people is growing. So for me, everything else is not important if this is what I am seeing. that democracy is a wonderful thing, but it must reflect on the lives of the people. How is this democracy making sure that the number of the poor are reduced? How is this democracy making sure that people can be assured of a meal a day? Uganda doesn't have our problems when it comes to feeding people and the hunger that we have. They don't have that problem. We do.
But City, look here.
That is just one aspect.
Yeah, one aspect. But we look. Uganda is a fertile country.
For sure.
There's no desert in Uganda. Those people have rain.
They have more rain than
yes.
Kenya.
One thing I'll tell you, and City, I don't know the last time you were in Uganda. Those guys, if you look what they have for breakfast, oh my goodness, it's a brunch. Those people eat.
Because they have food.
They have food, yes. But, I mean, my argument would be, is they're just in the right place at the right time, because the whole country is fertile. Now remember the late President Magufuli, even before he died.
Yeah.
What was he, when he was laughing at Kenyans? He said, look, COVID is here with us, but our neighbors here will die of hunger. But us, let us continue farming. Let us, produce the onions, produce the watermelons.
Yes.
So much of our food comes from our neighbors.
True.
But again, now, back to conversations that we should be having, and maybe now where I agree with UCT, is things like corruption. What happens? Fertilizers. We are being sold fake fertilizers. How then can we have good harvest? If such kind of corruption is there.
Abna, let me tell you, democracy is a wonderful thing. And we have really advanced the rule of democracy in this country. We really have. But you must get our priorities right. Politics is not more important than the very, very notion of people going to bed hungry and not knowing what they can eat. For me, that is fermenting revolt. You are bringing about a situation where people won't care and all this democracy will not matter. This is the thing that people must get. You cannot move ahead, and there are people who are languishing so far behind that the likelihood of even the most basic of things is very far removed from them. That is danger. It is lurking, it is there, you can see it. Democracy must cascade, and it must be represented by the person who is the most economically disadvantaged in the country. If it is not, that democracy is useless.
Wow.
in terms of if we are being honest about ourselves, we are doing better than our neighbors. However, they're also catching up, and they're catching up really fast. Yeah.
Which neighbors are you referring to?
Tanzania, Uganda.
Yeah.
And Somalia, they are also.
Let me tell you.
And Ethiopia up there.
This is a truly wonderful country. Just go across our borders to understand. The thing that Tanzania and Uganda do that we don't do, the cost of living in those countries is lower than ours. Very simply. I'm harping on this because it must get to our heads. This Kenyan middle class who are delusional, who seem to think that everything must be measured by the standards that they find acceptable to them. We are not the only ones who live in this country. Other people live here and we live with them. These high walls that people putting in the place they live in is what tells you of the insecurity. Insecurity is not cured by high walls or watchmen or policemen patrolling. Insecurity is cured by people who know they have hope and they have a chance and their lives can be better. That's security. Somebody focuses on doing what they need to do so they can move. If we do not make that priority and pursue it, it's a tinder keg that we're brewing here with all our democracy.
But Siti, just to delve into this, now you've mentioned cost of living. I believe any economy is measured by their GDP. So of course, our cost of living cannot be the same with our neighbors, because you look